Welcome everybody to Top Tier Studios. This is episode 8, and in this episode we're going to be officially starting the second area of the park. Now that might confuse some of you guys because I said that we were starting the second area of the park last episode, which was when we made that huge mansion with the drop tower ride inside. Now that might be a little confusing, but that is a subsection of this area. It kind of branches off before you actually get into this area. So you could call that its own area, but I'm gonna kind of bring it into this area, but at the same time it isn't part of this area because it doesn't have the same theme. Now if you were able to see what we placed in the very beginning, you saw it was an interactive shooting ride, and that means that it is going to be a targeted ride. It's going to have a lot of scenery, a lot of rooms, and it's obviously going to have targets. Now this specific target ride is the Ghostbusters ride. So that is this area in general. It's going to be the Ghostbuster area, and within it is kind of that haunted house. So that's kind of the gist of this area. Now this is going to be the co-star of this area, I guess you could say, because we are going to have a roller coaster in this area. I usually try and put a coaster in every single area as a whole. So this is going to be the track ride for this area, and then we're going to have a junior coaster that is going to be it's going to be the coaster that has like the ghost in the front of it. So that's like how that's going to work there. Now that won't be until a couple episodes time because we are obviously have to work on this. We just finished creating the layout for the coaster, or not the coaster, the layout for the ride, but now we actually have to theme it, and that's the long part. So in this episode we're going to get about halfway done with this Ghostbusters ride, and then we are going to go in the next episode and we're going to do the other half of it. And I'm thinking if we get done with that quick enough, we can squeeze in theming the queue and stuff, which is not in yet, and that won't be put in this episode. Otherwise this episode would be super long, and the reason for that is why it would be super long is because the queue is very wonky. It's the same as last interaction ride that I made in Golden Gulch, where the queue has to go over the station and then back down. But this one's a little different because I do have an area restriction here. I have that little box of room there that the queue has to fit into, and then especially the priority pass, because of how I wanted the queue to work, I wanted it super long, and it's basically going to stretch the whole length of this show building. It was really hard to fit that in, but I did it. There was the cut there, and you can see that that's there. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Next episode, we're going to be finishing this ride at the least, I guess. And then if we can, we'll fit in the queue, and if not, we'll put the queue in the episode after next episode. And along with that, we'll be doing some facade work, and we'll be probably working across the street and doing some like shops and stuff, because we do have the jet puffed shop with this add-on pack. So we'll probably do a shop with that and make Ghostbusters themed and all that stuff. And then after that we'll finally get to the coaster. But that coaster is I don't know where exactly it's gonna go. I have plans for the next area already, so the area restrictions may be a little bit limited for that, even though it is a junior coaster, so it probably won't take up too much space. Now, we are actually starting to theme our first room. Actually, we have been for a little while now. And this first room, you might see it's a little bit more high-tech, and it does have the Ghostbusters car in there. Now, the idea for this room is the first room of the whole ride. So, basically, I wanted it to be like the home base for the Ghostbusters, and in this area it's gonna have that practice target. So like when you go into any type of interactive shooting ride, you have to, like, the first room you go into, it always says like shoot the target, and you get like a practice shot or something like that. Well, that's the idea here. And so as you're going around this half circle, halfway through there will be like a ghost and on a platform, and it's going to be like shoot the ghost, and as you do that and you hit it, you shoot the ghost and you continue on and you leave the room. So that's the idea here. It's more of that getting ready for it, and that's why it is the base, because I figured, you know, it might make more sense for it to be kind of the home base before you got out into the world. So that's the platform it's going to be on. I literally just placed it, and then we're going to be placing like some garage doors, or that's what the hope was, for it to look like. Oop, I banged something there. Anyway, it's like a fire station with the Ghostbusters pack. It's like the windows, but it kind of looks like a garage door if you look at it right, I guess. It's the best I could do, so that's what we're going to go with for it. Now, we are doing a little bit of turning of the cars here. It's a little bit of different type of building here, and I try to cut a little bit of this out as well, just like I cut out some of the triggers, because it gets super repetitive and then it gets boring after a while. So I cut it out to about where we're gonna be heading. So that's through the first two rooms and then into that third room. So for this first room, we're still working on it. After we did that, we do need to put in the sign here with the ghost. So it has like the Ghostbusters logo here, and it'll have the ghost in there. And then we're done with this first room. So after that, we are going to work on our second room, which if you caught a glimpse at it, if you have a really good eye, you might have been able to see something, but I'm not going to spoil it just yet, because once we get in there, that room will take pretty short amount of time compared to this one, but yeah, so we're just about done with this one. Now, I do want to say one thing here, and that is the name of this ride. I have been thinking about it, because since I've been working on this ride for a very long time, I've been thinking about the name, and it's going to be something like the Ghostbusters Experience or something like that. Something really simple, but not too long at the same time. So if you guys have any other suggestions, like anything that you guys think will work a little bit better, you can definitely put that in the comments below. But for right now, I'm thinking that's what it's going to be. It's not set in stone, though. So now we're actually working on the very first room. Well, it's the second room, but it's the first room in the story, I guess you could say. And it's going to be the library. Now, I feel this is one of the main things I remember from Ghostbusters, is this library, and it's kind of, I feel like this is where it all started, I guess, where you first see the ghosts going around. So I figured, you know, this would be a great starting point for the coaster. Not the coaster, I don't know why I keep calling it a coaster. That's the first starting point for the ride, and it kind of makes sense in chronological order. So it's like the first sighting, and then the next room will go into a little bit more of like the plot, and the plot is gonna advance super quick to that climax, but then after the climax is going to be a pretty long area, and the reason for that is because there's going to be so many more ghosts there, so I just need to stretch it out more so that it's not all clustered in one area. So you can see here I'm putting down there will be 3 ghosts in this room. They're not all going to be the same one. I don't know. It looks like I'm placing all the same one, but they're not. And then, yeah, so here's me replacing them here. And that fourth one that I just placed down will not stay. So that's pretty much it for this room. Really easy, really quick. So now we just got to put in some opening doors to our next room, which is going to be, well, I'll tell you guys in a minute once we get there. So we just got to kind of work on this door here. Originally, I wanted it to be like a black door, so it really wasn't as noticeable or something, but it didn't work that way. So I just kind of left it white. And we're just kind of doing a little bit more touch up here in the first room and stuff. You know, you go back to what you need to whenever you see an error or something. But we're actually going to start our third room here, and we are about halfway through the episode now. We have 2 more rooms to do after this room, but one of them will be super quick, and then one of them will take a little bit more time. So this first room, you can see it has like this classical architecture, I guess, Roman architecture, if you want to call it that. Anyway, you might be able to guess what this room will be now after I put in that this type of walls, I guess, and we're putting in concrete flooring as well. Now the concrete is actually supposed to be like a marble or something. That's what I wanted, but I just couldn't find it, so I went with this instead. So that's how it's gonna work here. We're gonna be putting in a couple more signs, and we have to put some elevator doors in the back. That should really give this room away. I'll wait one more second to actually give you guys what this room is themed on. But anyway, the elevator doors will lead to the next room. So now that we are working on the interior, this is going to be the hotel lobby. Now, this is kind of jumping a lot farther in the theme of this movie, not the theme, the like story of it. So this is where the Ghostbusters. This is like a warning if you don't want to be like spoiled on the ride. I guess I should have said that at the beginning of the episode, like a spoiler alert for the movie, because it's kind of loosely based off of the theme in it. Anyway, it's the lobby. There will be some tables back here with some chairs around, and basically the idea is this is kind of like the lobby. Oh, I said that. But there will be some tables like that you can sit around and stuff, and then there will be the sign here, and then a couple of ghosts anywhere. So it's gonna be kind of a big room with a little bit of theming to it, which is kind of sad because I really wanted to put in some like chairs and stuff, but then like using reference images and stuff, I could not find like when I looked at the actual hotel, the lobby like looked like it had nothing. It just was like a big corridor with some really nice architecture and stuff. So this is, and then also with the combination of the opening doors, it does take away from the room a lot. So I think it'll work eventually. It'll work. And when we ride this in the next episode or the episode after that, when the ride is complete, you'll be able to experience this ride, and you'll have to tell me if you like how this one came out, because this is probably the weirdest one. Now, something that I did want to include into this room was the logo. Not the logo. I guess it's the logo. It's like the name of the hotel, the Sedgwick Hotel, and that's just on a little pedestal right there. And that'll be taking up part of the room, while we'll have some ghosts in the other part of the room, and that will be it. And as you traverse this room, the car will be spinning, not rapid, well, it's kind of rapidly, but not out of control, and it'll just be kind of swinging from side to side, looking either side, and there will be some ghosts in here that you can shoot at. And this one here, this red one, is going to be hooked up to another trigger effect here with the fire. So basically what happens is when the ghost is activated, it looks at the table, and I was thinking, it could like shoot something out of its mouth, and it would catch the table on fire, and boom, fire. I don't know, it's something that I just kind of wanted to include there. But yeah, we are going to have four ghosts in here. The one behind the sign, there's one on the table, there's one shooting at the table, and then there's one more that is like hovering above the elevator door. That one goes like up and down, which is a little harder to shoot, and I tried to time it the best I could to be able to beat the best. It's not the easiest to shoot. Anyway, we're skipping a room and we're going to the fifth room. Fifth room. And this is going to be the climax room. So, if you don't know, in the movie, this is basically the room, the generator room, where everything goes haywire and something explodes and releases all of the ghosts. So basically this room is going to be going crazy. There's panels on the back wall that are going to be exploding and stuff, and there's a generator that we're going to kind of create. It's not really based off of anything, it's just what I could use with pieces. And then the back area, like behind the car, is not going to be themed to anything, because the car will not be facing that way. So it's a way to save some like piece count, I guess, and some frame rate, which I'm not currently suffering from, but I have the feeling making rides like this in the future, because I know I want to make at least 2 more rides or that are going to be track rides at least, with highly detail. It's definitely gonna hurt the frame rate. And then obviously the coasters are also gonna have a little bit of the scenery to it, so we might have to kind of worry about that a little later on, but this ride will definitely be taking a little bit from the frame rate. Anyway, there's going to be a buttload of ghosts up in here. There's going to be some lightning, and we're also going to put some smoke in there. And so that's going to kind of cover up a little bit of the bottom area, make it a little bit more eerie and stuff, which is obviously nice. And then after this room, we're not going to get to that. We're actually working on the last room. After that room, we'll work on next episode. So that's what we're going to continue on. So this room right here, though, the 4th room and the final one for today, is a spiral staircase. Now, even though in the movie I believe they used the staircase, I use the elevator doors because it makes sense for a hotel to use elevator doors. So that's kind of the idea there. But other than that, that's all this room is going to be, is a staircase. There will be a couple of ghosts going down, and even though it doesn't look the best from some angles, going down it it works. It looks fine. So that's the idea for this room. We'll put a flooring on this. We'll raise the walls up. We'll put a roof on it, and we'll be done for today. Now, in the next couple of episodes, it's going to be the and after the climax and the resolution of the ride and stuff like that, that's where things are going to get crazy. There's going to be a lot of ghosts going on in there, and it's like the room directly after the climax is going to be another staircase, and then it's going to be craziness. So that's pretty much a little bit of foreshadowing for the next couple of episodes. Now, as we're starting to wind down this episode, we have a couple more seconds left. I guess it would be time to say thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. I know I did. It took a long time to make this, so hopefully you guys like it, and it will take a long time to make the next episode as well. But hopefully I'll have it out to you guys on time, like how I normally do, once a week. But that's it for today. So thank you guys so much for watching, and make sure to have an amazing day.